And we are back from the apocalypse, recording live the Nick Hall Comedy Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Hall, joined as always by...
Josh Griffey.
Hey, we, big month. Really?
Is this the aptly named biggest week of all time on the show?
Yeah, it has, I think it has to be.
Jesus Christ.
We're quarantined, as you can see, using technology to our benefit for once in our lives. Usually doesn't work out for us. But, yeah, crazy, man.
Unbelievable.
Crazy. So, yeah, I was in Arizona last week at spring training, and I got there on the Sunday. They were still playing, and we made it for like 2 or 3 days or whatever it was, 2 or 3, 4 days. And everything was going according to plan, and like we were lining up, credentials, and we were going to go with all these other teams. We made it to Reds camp, and we had credentials, and I was hanging out with Mike Clevenger, and he did the podcast. Like we recorded a Kent Murphy podcast. We're out there, and he was like, "Dude, I'm going to get you into the bullpen. You're just going to come into the bullpen with us."
Right.
And I was like, "Let's fucking go," and not an hour later. Trevor Bauer is sitting at the table. We're at the house that they're all at. And he gets a message, and it's like, no more baseball. And it was like, fuck. And then, after that Rudy Gobert, everything just kind of snowballed into one big cancellation. Thanks, Rudy.
It's unbelievable. God, first off, Rudy is just getting slaughtered online.
Oh.
And I was like, I get it. Rudy just got caught on video being the dumbest version of himself. Right?
Yeah.
The touching them, like he's a fucking, that's a dipshit move. But to be fair to Rudy, how many of us were truly taking it super seriously at that time?
Nobody.
So, like, I think the people, I read online, people were calling, like, I hope he gets killed by it. I was like, dude, you guys are fucking animals.
Yeah,
like, are you out of your fucking mind?
That's too far.
He's a young guy who did something pretty fucking stupid. He came out and he was like, yeah, that was bad. I wish I could have that one back. Like,
yeah, well, like, and half the people that are, like, mad about it that I've seen are the same people, like, that week that posted, oh, everybody's scared of the cold.
Yeah.
And it's like, you were one of those too, you fucker. You just...
Well, you know what's funny is people are still doing, like, I don't know, man. It's weird for me, too, because, I have an autoimmune disorder, and I'm diabetic, and my wife's a nurse, so she can't not work.
Yeah.
But, like, when she goes in now, she works in the NICU with, like, really at-risk babies.
Yep.
They have to go through all these extra screenings now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's just gotten to this point where, because I was trying to think back, man, I just can't remember anything like this, right? Like, I was a senior in high school when 9/11 went down.
Same.
And I remember we were in band, right, playing the drums or whatever. And all of a sudden they turned on the TV and it's like, oh, an airplane hit the World Trade Center. I'm like, well, that's a real oops.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we went to chemistry and we start doing it. And this was before phones and all that were like taking off. And all of a sudden at the end of class, someone came in, they're like, turn on the TV. We turned it on and like New York is on fire. And we're like,
yeah.
I remember, but we were a small town Midwest kid. I was like, oh, of course I'm getting drafted.
Yeah.
Like half of our class is already going in the military. I was like, that's it. We're going to war. But I could still go buy groceries and go to the movie theater.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we're in a state now where they've closed down, in Indiana here where we're at, they've closed down, pretty much everything is shut down now.
Yeah, there's still some retail shops open, but restaurants, bars, all that stuff's done.
Yeah, like who the fuck is going to Kohl's today? Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I gotta get me some new jeans with the studs on the back pockets, you know what I mean?
Those button-ups are going to be sick cheap. Let's go.
Yeah, but no, like even during 9/11, like the craziest thing I remember happening afterwards was like they put our school on lockdown for the rest of that day. And then I remember there being really long lines at the gas station.
Yeah, the gas station thing, yeah.
People in the street, like waiting in the street to get into the gas stations. But that was the extent of it in terms of like here at home. Obviously, it was a lot crazier for people being deployed and stuff like that. But
yeah. Well, I remember we
like,
went through that phase where like me and my family, we couldn't stop watching the news for almost 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
You would just watch the same footage over. I mean, it's so seared in my mind that time period. It was so scary and up in the air. What's different about this is there isn't that moment we can all look to and be like, that's the thing, right? The the towers and the smoke, and that's what we're afraid of. That's it. We know what it is.
Right. You can see the enemy. You can't see the enemy in this one. Yeah,
and now everything's shut down. Like, you can't just be like, wow, I'm really stressed out. I need to go get a drink anymore, right?
Yeah.
And that's what is so fucking scary. And like you said, I still see people online who are like yesterday, that beach in Florida had like thousands of people there. And I was like, fucking Florida. God damn it.
Well, fucking, I read an article today. Kid Rock has that bar in Nashville.
Yeah.
And they're refusing to close.
Of course they are.
They're pulling it's unconstitutional card.
This is the perfect time for your fucking bullshit, Kid Rock. Kid Rock's not going to miss a chance to be exactly on Kid Rock's brand.
Yeah. I loved it. I was like, good for you, kid.
I mean, it is a question, though, like, because, I mean, we have a friend who owns a bar, right? Chucky from the video.
Yeah, it's actually where I'm going after I leave here. I'm going. They're prepping to do like to-go food and stuff tomorrow. Yeah. So I'm just going up there to lend them a hand. Yeah. While they get stuff ready. But
this is the part that's scary, right? My neighbor said it in the most succinct way, and I'm a horror movie nut, right? You're like, the coronavirus as it is, right? We don't know what it is. I keep reading things like maybe it's going to go airborne now. Some guy got reinfected. It could do permanent lung damage. There's so much that we don't know.
Right.
So we're just sitting there scaring ourselves. And we're lucky. A guy who I play D&D with, we went to college with, is a doctor. So I just have been texting him like, tell me this is okay. And then my wife's a nurse. So like, I have some people that are smart that know shit.
Right.
But even they're mostly in the dark, right? So we have all of this going down. But my neighbor said it best. She's like, everything is fine with the disease, right? Like, that's scary, and we just can't do anything about that. But she was like, I went to the grocery store, and people are fucking afraid. Yeah. And that's what is scary, is once people start getting afraid, and we lose these little handshake agreements on, kind of the ethics of living in a society together, that's when it gets fucking scary. Like, I was watching videos of people pulverizing an old lady to get toilet paper.
Yeah, to get toilet paper.
A non-essential thing in life. I mean, it's the most American... pussy-ass American thing is like, we need to be able to wipe our butt comfortably. Is everyone
you can wipe your ass. Yeah. No, for real. No, that's actually, I was actually talking to Chucky yesterday. His name's Ryan, my buddy, but he, like, the thing that I was like, because basically what it boils down to is it's not the virus so much that's like the big threat. It's the infrastructure that it's crumbling, or the lack of infrastructure we had in place to deal with something like that. That's why the hospitals are getting full. That's what that's what the professionals are more worried about. But what I was talking to Ryan about was like, the scariest thing to me is you lock these people in their homes without food and without a way to make money. And eventually they're going to start feeding their family by any means necessary, and that's when it's like the civil unrest part of it that could happen. Yeah. If they're caged up for too long, if people are caged up too long.
Yeah, most revolutions start over bread and rice.
Eventually it'll be enough, and it'll go to the streets. And
you just sent chills down my spine, dude. I was like, what the fuck?
I mean, hopefully that's worse.
We were lucky. Scenario. We went out yesterday, right? We went to the grocery store, and like there's still food, and we're not being we're like, let's just get a little bit, right? Like, we'll be cool, like a normal cart. You see these assholes though that have like the 3 carts, right? It's like a lady and her family, and they're like, each carrying a cart, like some kind of fucking perverted like conga line. And I was like, God damn, these monsters. That's the scary part, right? Is you're like, I can do my part. But, because this is me and Amy, right? Our kids are like these little behemoths. And all they do is eat like, you don't realize it until you're in a situation like this. You're like, God damn, how much is my kid packing away every day? Like, he weighs 48 pounds. Like, what the fuck? But he went to bed the other night crying. Because after he had just eaten an apple and goldfish, he's like, can I have a donut before bed? I'm like, no. And it's the first time in his life he'd probably ever heard he couldn't eat something. And he went to bed crying. And I was like, what the fuck? And I told Amy, I was like, this is fine. But we've been trying to like, hey, we should probably like ration a little bit, whatever.
Yeah.
Starting to freak ourselves out, right? Because I was like, we can do our part and be cool. She's like, the people buying toilet paper are assholes. The people buying all the food are ass. I'm like, that's fine. And we can be better than them. But there comes a point where they're going to have all the food, and our kid who is sad he can't have his 5th donut of the day is going to be weeping. And like, that's when it all starts. I mean, that's when it falls apart. I don't know, because I've heard rumor that they're thinking about now doing stuff like mortgage relief and this and that. But okay, so let's say people don't have to pay rent.
Right.
That hurt is getting spread somewhere else. The landlords then don't have their money to do. I mean,
right. There's always a chain reaction for sure.
That's the scary part is once all of the, and it just feels like we should have had someone thinking about this. I mean, I guess we did, and they got fired. Not to get too political, that's a whole other thing. But it feels like this is something that we could have had a little more thought put into.
Sure. Well, what I found out about myself was I'm particularly poor at apocalypses, I guess. So far. So I went to the grocery store. Right when I got back, I went the next day when I flew back, and I was like, I'm just going to go now, get it out of the way, because it was like they were talking about where they're going to close stores and stuff, and I was like, so get out of the way. Mm-hmm. And like, I got some bread, picked up like a bag of apples. I was like, oh, I'll get some fruit, do something right. And then I walked down the aisle, and like the shelves are pretty sparse. And I walked down this aisle, and they have this whole thing just stocked up with snack packs, like fully stocked.
It's like
I started piling them into my cart, and I was like, looking around, I was like, is there a limit on these? Like, why is nobody buying these?
You're the toilet paper lady, but with snack packs.
Yeah, so I have like a fridge full of snack packs. It was like, because I was like, listen, if I get quarantined and I do die from this, I'm gonna go out with a chocolate snack pack in my hand, and it's gonna taste good at least.
Yeah, but if I'm going down, I'm gonna have a belly full of chocolate sludge.
But then, yesterday was like the first day they closed down the restaurant, so it was like my first day. They had to break into my supply that I just bought.
Oh man!
So I fired up a frozen pizza for lunch, and I ate the whole thing. Like all of it.
You're like, I gotta spread these calories out. What's wrong with me?
I probably should have only eaten half of that.
Yeah.
Because if shit goes wild, later on I'm gonna be sitting there crying and be like, I wish I didn't eat all those pizzas in one sitting.
If I had one more DiGiorno, I could make it one more day for help to come. No, dude, it's a real thing though. I had a moment where I was like, oh man, I'm a bad dad, because I heard a wrapper opening. Right? Like I was taking a nap with the kids. It was nap time, and the kid lays on you and he's taking a nap. You fall asleep. Him and my dog are on me. I passed out. Well, I heard and I wake up, and the kids were in the bagels. And so they're like 4 bagels with 1 bite out of them each. And Logan, the 2-year-old, got pink eye right before we got quarantined, so that was dope.
Yeah.
They're all runny noses and disgusting. So I don't want to eat anything their hands have been on. So I'm just looking at this like glut of ruined bagels. Now I was like, damn it! I was like, from now on, you ask Daddy for food. And I was like, furiously enraged, because I was like, those bagels are going to be the difference. Like, this is going to be over, and one of us isn't going to be here because of those 4 goddamn bagels.
Well, Monday night, I went up to Ryan's bar, to Chucky's bar, Monday or Sunday, whenever their last night was, because they were all kind of bummed out. Right. It was their last night, and so I went up there, and I came home later, and my dog had chewed up 2 rolls of toilet paper.
Damn it, Rob!
She's never chewed up anything in her life. Like, she'll shit everywhere in my house, but she's not a chewer.
Yeah.
She'll shit everywhere. And I was like, the one day you chew up shit, like the most precious resource that mankind has right now.
Do you know how much you could sell those on Postmates right now, Rhonda?
So I've been wiping my butt.
Maybe Rhonda and the dogs are like, this is our fucking chance. Once the CDC's like, dogs are cool, they won't catch it. Dogs are like, now we're making our move.
Little bastard.
Man, that's fucking trip. I don't know, but like you'll have probably have thought about this more than me, but what happens to people that work at like bars and restaurants right now?
It's tough, man.
Like we're lucky, like our income from this will be relatively unscathed, right? And my wife's a nurse,
theory,
so
yeah,
she
for the
still
most
is
part.
going to work, right?
Right.
Like, what happens if you just are a waiter?
Yeah, it's tough, man.
And you read those studies, right? Like, most people don't have, like, a month's worth of bills in savings, of our age group.
No, especially servers and bartenders, man. I know firsthand. I bartended for a long time. A lot of my friends are still full-time bartenders and full-time servers. And it's you make $300 or $400 one night. You go spend 200 of it the next day getting hammered, and then you go make $300 or $400 the next. You know what I mean? It's true though. It's just the way of it. But like a lot of the bars around here, like I know Ryan, with the bar that he owns, they're doing the carry out, so they're gonna let some of their employees come and work that and pay them an hourly rate, and there's projects they're doing around the bar, like stuff they can fix up, and he's like, if you want to come do some like minor construction, I'll pay you for that, but it's like there's a Ale Emporium, which is a bar right by my house. They are paying all of their servers and bartenders their average check or average tips per week.
That's awesome.
Like for now, and it's awesome. But like,
that's what I mean. How many bars
eventually
that
well's going to dry up?
Owners, you know what I mean, that aren't going to cooperate.
But also, like, if this goes on for longer than 2, 3, 4 weeks, that well's going to dry up. Like, they're not going to be able to afford.
Because, dude, I read the other day. I don't know what you're reading, but I heard. I think even Trump administration, right? They kind of conceded. They're like, this is probably like a July or August thing, right? Because I know. Of course, he said it in the dumbest way possible, but, it is true that it's really rare to see people get the flu in the summer, right? Like, once it gets warmer, it's harder for the virus to keep spreading and multiply. And I don't know what this thing is and what's different about it because I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
but,
same.
Like, I know that's, like, one of the things. Like, we can be okay till summer. And I heard someone say the hospital thing's like a ship, right? If you're on a ship that's slowly sinking, but you can bail the water out, you're okay. We don't want the hospitals to get to the point where they're flooded with people and have no source, and it's like, fuck, now we're sunk.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But that's what I mean. If this thing goes on till August, how long are we doing the distancing, and how does that keep effect? I mean, for me, like, of course, because social distancing is just my life for the most part, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the world I live in. But I was like, fuck, they took away movie theaters. That's something I do all the time.
Yeah, that's your jam.
And you're like, yeah, they're canceling movies. Like, all the movies that were coming out for, like, the next couple months, they're just like, nah, we'll do them later or release them on demand. You're like, fuck, this is going to have huge, enormous consequences
it's
that I don't even think we've begun to figure out yet.
No, I don't think so either. It's touching everything for sure. It's crazy.
That's what like you said, scares me.
Something it's never happened in our lives. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, it's fucking terrifying, dude, but you know what I found actually to be a little more terrifying yesterday? Was I was like, even amidst all of this kind of scary, bad stuff that people are dealing with, and I don't know how afraid everyone is. I know people on TikTok shouldn't be licking airplane toilet seats and shit. Like, so you need to be more afraid than that.
Yeah.
But probably not full doomsday prepper.
You shouldn't do that even when there's not a pandemic. Yeah. Like, that's just just a bad idea.
Let's just go ahead. Guys, that's
in
bad.
General.
That's a bad line. That's where butts go, right? And not the fun part of the butt, the disgusting, sweaty cheeks. We don't like that.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, even amidst all this, people on Twitter were like, there's breaking NFL free agent news. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this feels so out of place. But I think people were so excited to not talk about Corona.
Well, yeah, it's the distraction, man. Like, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, for us, like, our plan so far is to keep doing videos, like you and me. You know what I mean? For the people, like, what else are we gonna do? And I was talking with a bat manufacturer yesterday, and he was like, we're talking about doing some stuff together, and he was like, listen, man, like, you're the only one that can have a bat in his hand right now that, like, because the baseball players aren't on the field, and I was like, that's a good point, man.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's what else are we gonna do if we're not, making stupid fart and titty jokes with Kent Murphy?
Yeah, and I'm like, I mean, of all the times where, like, I mean, we spend a lot of time sitting together and like, man, what we do is just stupid.
Yeah.
Like, we just get paid to just do stupid things and say stupid things, right? And this is the first time I was like, maybe that's really important.
Right. Well, the biggest silver lining of all of this. So I was on Instagram Live last night, and Trevor Bauer hopped on with me, and we talked for a little bit on Instagram Live with a bunch of people, and he was like, with the shortened MLB season, a lot of your predictions might actually be right for the win totals. And I was like, dude, that's a good
amazing
point.
So, like,
we might actually have like 5 or 6 teams that come in right on the money with like our stupid win prediction totals that we've done.
It's my favorite thing in the YouTube comments where some guy's like, actually, I think they'll have 61 wins. Like, guys, read the room. Like, read the
room.
Like, come on.
Know your audience.
Like, he just watches that whole Kent Murphy roasting a roster. And we've gotten this comment about 10 times now where it's like, yeah, nice try at the comedy, but actually, boop, 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 statistics. Like, I can't imagine. Like, you just spent 3.5 minutes watching that and, like, none of it landed on you. Like,
Yeah. None of it.
But now we might be right, stat nerds.
Or like the one guy was like, he's like, yeah, right. We'll be way better than that. Like, I'm going to listen to some hillbilly that doesn't know anything about baseball. And I was like, you missed all of this entirely. Yeah. All of it.
Yeah. By the way, I thought Philly would be the worst, but there was one guy in Cleveland who's like, if I ever see you in downtown Cleveland, I'm knocking your teeth out. And I was like, joke's on you. I'll never be in downtown Cleveland on my own accord. Sucker.
Not on purpose, anyway.
Yeah. Fuck you, buddy. But hey, there was actually, it's so funny, this hit. One of the biggest sports stories, right? So besides the UFC finally caved, they were like our last sports holdout.
Yep.
But they're still trying. I think they're going to try to go foreign to get that Khabib-Tony Ferguson fight still on.
Yeah, I think I heard that too.
They're desperately trying. WrestleMania said they might do WrestleMania now with no one in the stands.
You can't.
Which I don't know if you saw it. I've watched Raw and SmackDown. It's so weird without an audience there.
Yeah.
Because they're still going for it. Like, they're selling it to like 20,000 people. But they had the best moment, though. Stone Cold came back. He was scheduled to came back, and he did his speech, and he's like doing his thing, and he goes, "Can I get a hell yeah?" And he held the mic out, and they cut to empty seats. It's the fucking greatest gif ever.
I love that. Yeah, I love the self-recognition, though. That's kind of dope.
Yeah, it's amazing. But it's been so strange, right?
Yeah.
But then out of nowhere, Tom Brady just is like, I'm out of New England.
Yeah.
Like, in the midst of a pandemic, he
Tampa
sends us
Bay.
like, oh, I really love my time. You know, this heartfelt like, I loved it so much that I can't wait to fucking leave to probably go to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, he's going to Tampa.
Like, what is happening in our world right now?
Willfully going to a team in Florida.
Yeah.
For football has not really been great, you know.
He's going to catch Florida Man from all those people on the beach that have been licking toilet seats. Nick. So let's get away from the scariness for a minute.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on Tom Brady leaving the Patriots?
I think it's a beautiful thing. I kind of wish he would have went to like the Dolphins.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Or
he hasn't
someone
signed,
in
right?
division.
Like, they say Tampa Bay is the front runner, but it's not a done deal, right?
Right. Well, I think it's pretty much done. I think they've agreed. They just can't, because of the league year, they can't actually sign yet. But I think it's like agreed upon. So I guess he could still back out. But he's Tom Brady. He could. He's a cheating slime ball. So I wouldn't put it past him.
I was gonna say the GOAT, but that works too. That's fine.
Yeah, but like, if he goes and wins in Tampa, and Belichick keeps winning in New England, then we know they're both the cheaters. Or, if only one of them continues to win and the other loses, then we'll know who the mastermind was. So I'm kind of excited about it. You throw some cheese.
There's approving of.
Yeah, you throw some cheese out and you'll find
Tampa Bay. You're like, that can only be through cheating.
Yeah, you got to spread the cheese around. You'll find the rat. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of excited about that.
I'm not the rat, Frank. I'm not the rat. No, God, I mean, a world in which Tom Brady and Giselle willingly spend time in Tampa Bay is. I was like, it's perfect for where we are right now. 2020 has just literally done a hold my beer to 2019. So this makes perfect sense. I was fucking stunned, though. Because as of all the fucking teams, right? Sarah's floated, well, he'll go to the Chargers.
Yeah.
They'll live in L.A. They're opening a stadium, right? It's more of a publicity move. He'll try to get his $70 million and cash out. All right. You're like, maybe the Raiders, right? That's a beloved team. They're going to Vegas, maybe.
Yeah.
Fucking Tampa Bay? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. If I were 42 or 43 or whatever he is, with more money than God, and just didn't care what happened, I'd go to Vegas. I'd be like, I'm going to go to Vegas. Who cares if I win or lose? I'm going to sit at the tables all day and have a fucking great time.
Yeah.
And then
How about New York? How about any of these fucking teams? Like, goddamn.
Tampa
fucking Bay?
Tampa Bay.
Oh, my God. It's so weird, too, because Tom Brady's brand has always been like, nose in the air. He kind of reminds me of the Prius drivers from South Park. Like just sniffing his own farts. Like, he's like, that's why I'm going to play till I'm 50 because my own farts lubricate my joints. You know what I mean? Like, insanity.
And also because he cheats.
To think that guy, right, the turtleneck wearing, I'm better than everyone at Fashion Week, is going to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, fuck him.
I don't know. I mean, my thing was, it's fun for those of us who are AFC team supporters.
Sure.
Because this is the true end of a dynasty. And that's, I mean, I can't think of any team that's had as dominant a run in modern sports as the Patriots right now.
Nobody has. Which is, it's not that impressive given all the cheating. So, they were a huge inspiration on the Astros. So, I get it. But I'm not really I don't romanticize their dynasty because to me it's a sham. It's a fraud. Fuck Tom Brady and fuck the Patriots. And I hope they both continue to lose for the rest of their careers.
I like that now, though, we're going to start getting wild cards like the Bills Mafia could actually make the playoffs all the time and shit.
They made the playoffs last year, didn't they?
That's what close. I mean. And they just signed, who'd they sign? Diggs?
Did they get Diggs?
They went out and they're making moves, right? Like they're trying now. But this is what's cool is now that the Patriots are gone, there's going to be this power vacuum where they're going to be, we're going for it right now. I mean, the Jets will still be the Jets.
Yeah, but the Jets are going to the fans are going to be like, man, we finally have a chance. And then, opening kickoff happens for the season. Like, yeah, no, we don't. Yeah. We are still the Jets.
There's no fan base that's like, we should probably keep quarantining for a long time. The Jets. Imagine the great gift of Tom Brady's finally leaving our division. And you're like, don't worry, we'll still keep locking down last place. We got you. But yes, I don't know. I mean, but that's what I like. And I was going to ask you, so this great unprecedented dominant run, do you think we see anything like this in sports again? Can this be replicated in the modern era?
I could see it happening in baseball because cheating is legal in baseball. So I could see it. Manfred is definitely not putting his foot down towards it. Yeah. So
the Houston Radio Shack's just
but seriously,
fucking
seriously, I don't know. I doubt it. Maybe in the NBA because the NBA only caters to 3 teams in their league. So
but how could the San Antonio kind of did this too, but now that guys are just leaving every 2 years.
Our first experiment.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna I don't know. I think that makes it hard, man. But I don't know. I think that's what's cool though. I love a dynasty, but it's fun when you see it fall and all of a sudden there's this new frenzy we could be the new American team. I think it's going to be good for football.
And you think are the Chiefs going to do it because they've just won one. They've got the best young quarterback in the league. You know what I mean? If anybody's set up to maybe take that helm, it's them, but
yeah, but you know how it goes. He'll be like, I need my bigger payday and everyone needs their bigger payday and you lose a bunch of the guys and I don't especially football. It's crazy how long they've been good. And maybe you're right. Maybe it is simply the cheating. I don't know, because that would explain the extraordinary longevity of this whole thing.
Yeah,
even at a point, didn't Tom Brady get snapped in half, and then it just still came back and was?
Yeah,
he never really missed a beat.
He tore his ACL. Yeah, they won 11 games with Matt Castle.
Yeah, fucking insane, dude.
I don't
know. What are your predictions for him in Tampa Bay? That's going to work out perfectly, right?
I don't know that division. I mean, the quarterbacks in that division are crazy. You've got Matt Ryan, Tom Brady, and Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Newton's probably going to move because I think they just signed Teddy Bridgewater.
I thought the Bears signed him.
I thought I saw the Panthers did. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
both
of
those teams need a quarterback.
Yeah.
But other than Cam, right? If they get rid of Cam, they should bring in Fitzmagic and just be like, we're the old whites division.
Oh, I love Fitzpatrick. I'd take him. He'd be my first pick on any team.
Honestly, as a Steelers fan, I was like, if Ben's just going to be not playing, we should have done that.
Go get him. Go get him.
Yeah, I'm like, you can throw an interception or a touchdown every play. That's more fun to watch than what we've been doing.
No, dude, the hardest part of all this for me, man, now that we're talking about sports, has been the gambling. There's
oh yeah, you're having a set.
There's nothing to gamble on, man.
It's funny. I was gonna throw a $50 bet down on LeBron to win the MVP. Because I think I don't remember. I heard it on a couple podcasts where they're like, he's making the run. This is the time.
Right.
If they pass the Bucks, and I was like, I'm gonna throw that bet down. But someone asked me, and they're like, so what if they canceled the season, do I still lose my bet because he technically didn't win?
No, you'd
How
get
does
it
that
back.
work?
You'd get it back. It'd be a canceled bet.
Yeah.
It's the same as like if you bet on say if you bet on LeBron James to go over 25 points or whatever that night and he doesn't play, then you get that bet.
You
back.
get the money back. Yeah,
Same
I'm
thing,
a pretty novice gambler. I jumped in balls deep with the Oscars, of course. I had
well, yeah. Well,
I had to gamble my Oscars.
well, my buddy texted me the other day and he was like, "It's come to this," and it was just a screenshot of his FanDuel app, and he was betting on darts. There's like darts tournament, like they have it on there, and he was like parlaying darts matches together, and I had a thought, and I was like, I could see myself doing that. Like, maybe this is what I'm going to do today.
You're like, maybe I'm going to Google the action. Like, what are we looking at?
I did. I started to look up the players. I was like, let's see if he's good on the road. This guy's pretty good at home.
Who had a wrist injury slipping on the beer spot?
Wonder how this guy is at night games. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's when you know you're a degenerate, son.
Yeah.
If you're gambling
I didn't
on
do it.
darts,
I didn't put any money down on it.
But you will. You're letting
mind.
me and the audience know that's going to happen.
Yeah, well, they were talking about like teams doing just like 2K simulations. So it'd be like, you know, like get on NBA 2K and they just like run simulations and people can bet on it.
People are just watching that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I like sports as much as the next guy, but if I'm being honest, like, it hasn't really impacted me at all yet that I'm missing it. Because, like, you know, NBA, you're like, all right, we're starting to ramp up that. I was ready. I was more excited. I'll be more sad when opening day comes and goes.
Yeah.
That was like my next thing. I was really excited.
Me too.
IU had already thrown the towel in. March Madness is going to be garbage for us. So I was like,
I got a super secret bet for you. Not super secret. But if the NBA league does resume, say like in 2 months, load up on the Nets.
Dude, I heard this the other day. That's
KD and Kyrie will probably be healthy by then. And they'll just be ready to storm.
So they're just going to come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like the flat earth theories re-rising.
You probably get great odds on them.
Well, that's what I heard, because this is something I had been reading about, is that if they came back at like the end of June, that they might have to do some kind of shrinking. They would need an exhibition so people could be in like game shape.
Yeah.
Because you don't want a bunch of people on the best teams just getting injured because they've been, you know, binge watching Love is Blind for like 3 months. But then they were saying they might only take the top 4 teams. If you had to come back, honestly what I'd say is 1-on-1. 2 teams just get to play for the champ. Is that not enough? Do you need at least 4?
I don't know. I think you gotta. I think
what's
you gotta
the
have at
value
least
of
4.
a tournament that
I
doesn't
wouldn't be
have
surprised
LVs?
though, because I wouldn't be surprised if they just run all eight teams from each conference.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna be trying to get some of that money back, so they're
That
gonna want to
cash.
drag it out
Yeah,
as
right.
long as they can. You know what I mean?
For sure. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Just make everything a best of 5.
Yeah.
First round, best of 3.
Yeah.
Every other round, best of 5. I mean, you could shrink it a little.
Yeah.
Make it okay. I mean, that's the thing. Like, there are no 8 seeds that are really making a run at this fucking thing anyway. I mean, the Nets is probably the most intriguing.
Yeah.
Like, long
if they
shot
get
in
healthy.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. What are you... Now that we're looking at a time when we're going to be out of this stuff for a while, how are you going to be filling the void?
Oh man, crying a lot. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like you said, man, baseball opening day that's my favorite. That's like my favorite day of the year.
Yeah.
My favorite bar right down the road where Chucky worked for like 10 years. They do like this giant opening day party. It's like it's amazing. It's an incredible party. They wheel out like hot dog carts.
Yeah.
And they get free hot dogs and Cracker Jacks all day. And it's just like all these people there from all these different teams, and they have every game on all the screens, and it's like magical, man.
Yeah.
And we just get hammered and watch baseball all day.
I know. Well, I was excited. We were going to go down and get content and get hammered.
Yeah.
Like, all of it would be on the iPhone, of course, because I would never bring a camera around us when we were shit-faced. But yeah, that's what I was just thinking, man, is like, I don't know like how to fill it, right? Because like,
Yeah.
I mean, I like the opening weekend of March Madness way more than the rest of the tournament.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, that's like a big thing. It's just weird because this is so built into like our calendars. I was like, WrestleMania, we were excited for that coming up. Me and the kids were pumped for that. And you're like,
Yeah.
holy shit, man. Like, it's madness. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. No one does, man. But we're going to keep making content for you guys as much as we can without, without getting everybody sick around us. But we're going to do what we can to keep it coming. And we'll keep the pods going even if we have to do it like this. So we will see you guys next week in one fashion or another. But, in the meantime, I'm just going to go live on Instagram and Facebook and shit and just mess around. Maybe I'll drag my bat out and go whack some dingers by myself just into the abyss. We'll see. But, hey, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.